I ask myself the same question every day. I look in the mirror and I'm like, why are you so handsome, Paul? Hi mga kabano, Chris here, and I'm talking to our subscribers today. You guys write into me, you leave a lot of comments, and I do read every comment that you guys send into the show. I want to actually start getting back to you in vlog form. Like, I know we respond to a lot of the comments just by typing, but I think some of them are really interesting and other people would be interested in hearing the answers as well. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos where we actually take your questions and comments on the show and I let you know what I think of whatever you wrote. I got a few interesting ones today. The first one comes from Kinston Jun, Kare Kare recipe video, who writes, "Hindi ka gumamit ng sibuyas. Usually after the oil, sangkutsa muna ng onion bago ilagay ang pata at tuwalya. I put sibuyas into my kare kare. Let me know if that wasn't the case. I'm sure I had sibuyas in there, like at least a diced red onion going into the base. I typically, after the oil, I would put in yung onion muna bago I add my pata tuwalya." So yeah, you're right. If we missed it in the video though, I'm pretty sure you want to put in just at least one diced sibuyas and pre-cook before you add the other meats, right? To get the flavors out from the onion. Thanks for checking up on me and my recipe. And for all of you who haven't had kare kare before, we have cooked that here on the show. Check it out there. Really interesting dish. It's a little bit of work to do it right, but there are a few tips and tricks to get it done a little bit faster. Well worth the effort though if you've never made it. It's a very, very rich dish with a very, very rich history as well. Next one from You Love Me. He writes, "Why so handsome, Po?" Yeah. Thanks, Urbano. I ask myself the same question every day. I look in the mirror and I'm like, why are you so handsome, Po? And you know, my wife asks me that every day. People on the street ask me that every day. People on this channel ask me every day. They're usually men who ask me that question. I find it's like always men who are like, "You're so poggy," and I'm like, wow, thanks. Like, I'm actually very flattered. I mean, I think gay men have really good taste. So actually, I'm straight myself. You know, so I break any hearts with that, but when a gay guy's like, "Hey, I think you're really handsome, really pokey," I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man." Like, you know, because you guys would really know, right? I'm more flattered than anything. So thanks for the comment. Slightly embarrassed here, but thank you. Okay, next question comes from Abraham Flores, who asks me on the dessert video, "Hi, my top 3 favorites are espasol, bibingkang kamoteng kahoy, and tupig. Have you already tried these, Chris Urbano?" Out of those 3, I have only tried bibingkang kamoteng kahoy. It's like cassava bibingka. It's really delicious. Bibingka is fantastic as a concept. I really enjoy eating it. But then espasol, that's like a type of kakanin, I think, sort of transparent with parang yung outside ng coating ng milk powder. And then the tupig is also a kakanin, which is wrapped in a banana leaf. I've not actually tried these 2. So everyone who comes to the Philippines, it's like you never run out of things to try or eat because there's so much variation between all of the different regions. I mean, there's like so many more kakanin that could or should have made this list, right? My favorite kakanin, if anyone's wondering, it is biko because I'm obsessed with the latik topping, probably followed by, I think suman was number 2 because I just think that suman, mango, chocolate combination is remarkable. So yeah, thanks for the question, Abraham. Keep watching the show. So the next one, wow, Nicholas Saples, thanks for the comment. And I wanted to talk about this one because I don't shy away from the hard questions. Nicholas writes, "I really love watching you, but why can't you just speak a normal, neutral Australian accent instead of that horrible, false, horrendous Filipino English accent?" Okay, I'm really gonna try and do the rest of this question in an Aussie accent, which is actually slightly hard for me because I do mostly speak in Filipino Taglish with my staff. I don't really speak Australian English very much anymore, and typically only when I am speaking to an Australian, and I have to consciously think that I'm speaking to you in Australia right now and not my lovely videographer who is a Filipino standing right behind the camera and looking at me at the moment. So I'm like consciously imagining you and not her right now. Let me know how I'm doing. So to finish your question, if you speak normal, neutral, reasonably educated Australian English, I'm sure the Filipinos will understand you. I'm an Australian and speak Tagalog, self-taught quite well too, and I doubt having lived there for a time would have changed your accent. It's like selling your soul to the devil. Seriously, Chris, I've heard you speak normal Australian dialect in other videos like your call center prank. Check that out here, it's hilarious and it's just ridiculous. I love watching you and I adore your works, and thank you so much for saying that, Nicholas. I really appreciate it. But you need to be sincere, otherwise it would be preferred if you only spoke Tagalog or broken Tagalog instead of the fake accent. Constructive advice with love and respect. I love watching you and I've cooked many of your beautiful dishes. Just please speak your natural Aussie accent because that's what you are and what God you made in this lifetime. So Let me say that, okay, like I really appreciate the comment. I'm not actually faking the accent day to day. I have lived in the Philippines and I went to university here. So typically I speak conversational Taglish with all of my employees, my household. I have a lot of team here in the Philippines, both in my businesses and in making this show. So I literally 99% of my interactions now day to day are in conversational Taglish. And I haven't just been in the Philippines. I lived in Indonesia for a long time as well, including when I was a teenager. And what you find, people who have lived in a lot of different cultures, they have this, what we call a linguistic chameleon effect, where you almost naturally start to code switch from whatever your native tongue is or your native accent or dialect into whatever the person speaking to you is doing. It's sort of a linguistic mirroring, we call it in the linguistics field. So say you called me up on the phone today, Nicholas, and said, "G'day mate, how you going?" I would come straight back to you with, "I'm fine mate, how are you?" Right? But if a Filipino called me up and said, "Yeah, kumusta Brad dun sa Pilipinas?" I would respond like, "Walang problema dito Brad, okay naman dito sa Pilipinas." And I'm not putting it on, I'm actually just, my brain mentally code switches. And it doesn't just apply to like dialect and accents. So I'm a Bahasa speaker as well. You can check out my Mas Krisno channel here, where I've also done some comedy viral videos in Indonesia. And honestly, I watch those videos and I'm like, is that me? Can I speak Bahasa? Because I cannot think of those words right now. But the minute I land in Jakarta and go through immigration there, and the guy says to me, "Pagabar, mau masuk di Indonesia dalam rangka apa?" for example, I'm gonna respond in Bahasa, and it literally comes back because your brain just switches into that mode. So I take the point, I take that you love hearing the Aussie accent. I'm really doing my best to try and speak in a more neutral Australian accent for your question, but honestly, it's quite subconscious now for me when I'm speaking in that real Taglish accent, and sorry it's so grating for you as an Aussie. Funnily enough though, I mean, I wouldn't say Australian accent is like the most popular worldwide. I feel like, you know, we have these really big A's and how you going. And have you seen the Bogart the Explorer video I did when I was in Manly? So it happened that Bogart and I were both in Sydney at the same time. Just random coincidence. And they were like, "Hey, let's like meet up in Manly." And I met him up. And if you want to see the two of us in super Aussie accents, we'll put a link to that here as well. It's a really funny just Q&A video between me and Bogart, like really authentic. And grabe yung accent, yeah, like he really has a bigger Australian accent than me. We're good mates behind the scenes of being YouTubers. And here he's Filipino and he's from Davao originally, so he speaks Bisayan, and when I hear him like that, I'm like, dude, you don't sound like an Aussie anymore. So I kind of get your frustration. I'm like, who is this guy speaking this now? Like, really, that's not the real you. And I'm like, hang on, it is the real you. Thanks, I really appreciate the comment. I hope that helps understand at least why I do it, and hope you can keep watching the channel even if I do the Taglish thing. Okay, so Michael Joson writes, "Can you do an episode for kitchen hacks or tips and tricks in cooking?" So thanks in advance. Yeah, great idea. I actually think that's a really cool idea for a vlog, because you watch a lot of cooking videos and it's always, oh yeah, just pull out your industrial grade food processor because you're a celebrity chef, got sponsored to you for free. I mean, how many households really have that? Mahal yun, diba? Oh yeah, just pull out your mix master. That's just like 20,000 pesos on the market. It's so easy. Just make it look so easy. Just press this button, mix it up. So yeah, I really do like food hacks, because let's face it, most people are in pretty ordinary home kitchens. They don't have all the gadgets, and I think that stuff is really, really important. So you see on this show already, I really don't cook anything that requires more than like 2 pots and a 4-burner stove. I really try to keep it limited to that. I will take this one on board, and you'll see in a lot of what I do everything with a stick immersion blender. So a little tip for today is if you're gonna buy one piece of kitchen equipment, that's what I would buy, because if you get a good one, you can use it as a food processor, you can use it to blend soups, you can do everything with that one implement. Oh, and because we spoke about Kare Kare today, my favorite hack there is you can grind the peanuts up, or you can just use peanut butter. I use peanut butter, and I think that's a really cool time saver hack when doing Kare Kare from scratch. That's it for today's vlog. Just want to remind you guys, we've got a lot of giveaways going on at the Facebook page at the moment. So if you want to head over there, like the page, turn on the notifications so you actually find out. So if you can turn on notifications and like at the Facebook page, then you'll see when we do our giveaways. And they're coming out thick and fast every 2 or 3 weeks. We're giving away free stuff, free cookware. Some other giveaways are in the pipeline. Get in the competitions. You might win some stuff, and you can keep in touch with me there as well. Let me know any thoughts on today's video in the comment section below. And of course, we are looking at your comments. I read every one, and then some of them we're going to actually be responding to every Sunday here on this show. So it might be you next that I'm talking to here on Maputing Cooking. Thanks for watching, mga kabana. I'll see you next time. Bye now.